Right now at 6, alert day conditions are in the forecast once again. We'll break down when and how much snow we are expected to get. And the Madison School District is charging teachers extra. The error administrators are reporting with their payroll.
$7.25 an hour is just simply not enough to live.
Plus, fighting to raise the minimum wage, the impact of low wages as the cost of living continues to rise. Welcome to News 3 now at 6. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson. Eric Franke is off tonight. Alert conditions are returning to southern Wisconsin tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is live on the weather patio and has more on incoming snow. When is it all going to begin?
Sarah, by this time tomorrow night, we're likely going to be having moderate to heavy snow coming down here in the patio and across all of southern Wisconsin. And even tonight, we're on the cusp of alert day conditions with bitterly cold wind chills down to 20 below expected by Friday morning before the snow kicks in. That Friday evening commute, if you have plans, now is the time to think about those plans because it will be a slow go. A brief burst of very heavy, wet snow. There might even be some thunder will be across all of southern Wisconsin by this time tomorrow night. And that's going to cause deteriorating road conditions. That's why you probably saw in the First Warn Weather app, winter weather advisories popping up. This goes through Saturday morning at 6 a.m., but there may be an extension to this winter weather advisory, which I'll explain because additional snow is expected to develop as we go into Saturday, increasing confidence in that. Here we are, 6 o'clock this time tomorrow night. Madison areas west, moderate snow, and then heavy at times through the mid to late evening hours. Again, I'm not going to be surprised to get a clap or two of thunder. That's that thunder snow. Really heavy snowfall rates of potentially an inch per hour. We may get a brief little lull during the early morning hours of Saturday, and look at this another reinforcing band developing during the day on Saturday. If that verifies, we could be adding additional snow during the day time on Saturday, which is looking more and more likely. Can't forget tonight, by the time we get to 10 o'clock, we're already flirting with zero with those wind chills, again, approaching 20 below. And we have even colder wind chills in the forecast. More on that in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you so much, Alex. Well, we have a programming note for those of you who watch us on YouTube TV. Your access to WISC-TV could be interrupted beginning tonight at 10 p.m. YouTube TV and CBS parent company Paramount are negotiating a new agreement. And if negotiations do not succeed, our station won't be in the channel lineup past 10 p.m. local time. Now, you should know WISC-TV is cut out of the negotiations. This dispute is between Paramount and YouTube TV. Here are your best options for CBS programming if this is the case. Important local news and vital local weather information is still accessible. You can subscribe to DirecTV Stream, sign up with your local cable and satellite provider, or always watch us for free with an antenna. We will, of course, provide updates on this on our website, channel3000.com. Well, some teachers in the Madison School District may need to pay more taxes than they were expecting this year. Now, this is a result of a payroll error from the district. Our Merrill Hubbard is here to break down what we know.
Yes, Sarah, I'm hearing frustrations and questions from MMSD teachers who were not planning to add more taxes to their budget this year. On Tuesday, teachers got an email from the district explaining the payroll error. The district said that after the end of the 2024 tax calendar year, they found that updates to their system may have excluded too much income from taxation. In the email, the district says this could particularly affect employees who did not have a recent W-4 on file. This is because pre-2020 W-4 forms use different tax tables compared to current ones. MMSD sent me a statement from their senior executive director of communications that reads in part, quote, "We'd like to acknowledge that this occurred and sincerely apologize to our staff. We have taken immediate steps to prevent this error from happening again. This includes ensuring accurate system updates and a mandatory double-checking process for these updates." The statement also reads that they believe all employees were impacted in some way, but that the effects will vary with each tax filing. Now, as I said, I've been talking to teachers who tell me they are concerned about paying additional taxes this year. They were not able to talk to me on camera today, but one teacher told me she's going to have to take out a loan because of this payroll error.
All right, thank you so much, Meryl. Well, an audit of the Milwaukee Public School District finds what's being described as a culture resistant to change. Governor Tony Evers ordered the audit last year after it became known that the school district failed to submit financial reports. Auditors say they found critical issues stemming from staff turnover, fragmented planning, and outdated systems. A total of 29 recommendations were made to fix these issues. In a statement released today, the governor urged the district to accept the recommendations, saying, quote, Milwaukee Public Schools must make systemic changes to ensure that students, particularly the most vulnerable, are at the center of every decision. Ultimately, this work is in service of students whose future success hinges on a district capable of delivering equitable, high-quality education, end quote. The governor is also proposing $5 million be spent to address future audit results from the district. The Senate has officially confirmed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. The 52-48 vote fell along party lines, except for former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. He was the only Republican voting no. RFK Jr. has long been a critic of vaccines and faced a contentious nomination process, with other members of the Kennedy family actually speaking out against his confirmation. Well, a Rockford man is crediting precision-targeted therapies with stopping the spread of his cancer. This is great. In December of 2018, John Chase was diagnosed with stage 3B non-small cell lung cancer. But when doctors learned that his immunotherapy treatment was no longer effective, they began trying something different. UW Health experts came together to recommend precision medicine. This analyzes the tumor's genotypes and abnormalities to recommend patient-specific therapies. This treatment has prevented Chase's cancer from advancing.
There's a great relief from that. But I still have, I have neuropathy in my feet, which is a side effect of the chemotherapy. But you learn to compensate and just to deal with it, because the ulterior result would be not living. So.
Well, Chase says that he now gets to continue to be a father to his 3 daughters and also a grandfather to his 4 grandchildren. It's lovely. Well, it is American Heart Month, and one cardiac rehab patient from SSM St. Mary's Hospital is speaking out to educate about the importance of heart health. Photojournalist Chris Hawbaker brings us the story.
It was one of those, you think you're invincible, and you're next thing you know, you're in it. Flying home from California on the way to Madison, and 2 hours into the flight, started to get very dizzy and some chest pain. I needed medical attention ASAP. I was very fortunate there was a doc on the plane, took my vitals. Instead of an emergency landing, they had recommended if I could make it to Chicago, that they would make arrangements to pick me up on the tarmac, take me to the nearest hospital and have me checked out. And they said, after checking you out, you're not getting back to Madison, but we're gonna do open heart surgery. Was in the hospital there for the rest of the week, and then returned to Madison. And then shortly after that, started the cardio rehab program here.
Good slow controlled movements. 5. I am a clinical exercise physiologist, so I work in cardiac and pulmonary rehab. A big portion of the program is focusing on exercise, so we want our patients, they come usually 3 times a week. Oh good, you're right in range where you should be. But it's not just the exercise, there's also an educational component to the program as well.
The support and knowledge of Carissa and the rest of the staff has been incredible and very supportive. It makes you want to come back and participate and be involved.
Good, breathe.
The biggest thing is the fundamentals of, exercise, eating right, learning about proper health. Enjoy every sandwich, You don't quite know if that's your last, right? Surround yourself with good people. I think I've experienced that here with the program, and these guys have made a huge difference in my life, just recovering already.
Great story, and thank you to, again, our photojournalist, Chris Hawbaker. Now, to find out what your heart health risk is, a link can be found on our website at channel3000.com. Now, coming up later on News 3 Now at 6, Alex fills us in on the wintry weather expected over the weekend, and cold, too. Also, fighting to raise the minimum wage. We'll dig into how Wisconsin's low wages are having an impact on the rising cost of living.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back, everyone. Wisconsin has not raised its minimum wage in nearly 15 years, even as the cost of living continues to rise. Our Ellie LaLiberte breaks down what impact, if any, this has had on businesses and employees in our state.
At the start of 2025, 21 states raised minimum wage. That includes our neighbors, Minnesota at $11.13 an hour, Illinois at $15 an hour, and Michigan at $10.56 an hour. But Wisconsin stuck at $7.25 since 2009.
What minimum wage doesn't do is consider different industries, consider different size businesses.
Leah Hernandez is a Wisconsin small business owner. She's run the Cozy Home in Monona with her mom for 13 years.
I would never have employees if I paid the minimum wage.
She says a blanket raise would cripple some businesses while having little impact on others.
I think it could be raised across the board, but there's some industries where it could be raised even more. I mean, like what California's doing with their, I think it's like around $20 an hour. That's probably not going to work for a small town, but for tech industries, that's hardly anything.
$7.25 is the federal minimum wage, and Wisconsin is one of 18 states that remain at that benchmark.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
For business owners like Lacey Rude, raising minimum wage is top of mind.
It's coming up all the time.
Rude owns Lacey's Cafe, a restaurant in Madison.
It was $12.
She's also the only employee at the cafe.
It's hard for people to want to go into service industry, which, like I said, is the backbone of our community because, the pay rates are so low.
Tipped workers are legally only required to be paid roughly $2.30 in Wisconsin. However, those employees can make more than minimum wage because of tips.
I mean, it varies greatly.
If minimum wage was raised to $15 an hour, retail and restaurant employees would be the most impacted.
The floor of the labor market has come up.
Laura Dresser is a UW associate professor and has spent her time looking into wages in Wisconsin. She says right now it's a tight labor market.
It's one of the most amazing things about the kind of post-pandemic shutdowns labor market is that low-wage workers have made stronger gains and stronger progress than actually median or high-wage workers.
That's partly why employers are largely paying more than $7.25.
I just think it's so outdated of an idea that people just aren't even considering it.
But Dresser says a low wage can make it easier for some employees to be taken advantage of.
The more they are kind of dependent on that job, the more that can be leveraged into exploitation. And so that happens more at the bottom of the labor market. A higher floor on wages kind of lifts that up and says work is going to be rewarded this way.
So why is Wisconsin stuck at $7.25?
I think there's a lot of popular support for raising the minimum wage in many states, and I know that's true in Wisconsin as well.
In Wisconsin, raising that number means change in the state legislature.
It has not translated into legislative success yet.
And for both business owners,
we pay a lot more to our staff because we want to keep them.
We would see a huge change in this industry if we had better wages.
Reporting in Madison, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Ellie. And after the break, Alex tells us about the alert day conditions coming this weekend. And a small Wisconsin town prepares for a huge event, the Nordic-themed race, drawing thousands of spectators from around the world. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back, everyone. The American Birkebeiner ski race is back, and it's only 1 week away. The Birkie, as it's known, is held in the tiny town of Cable. The event has been running since 1973. Check these people out. And it's inspired by Norwegian lore. As the largest race of its type, the Birkie brings 12,000 ski competitors and 25,000 spectators from all 50 states and 24 countries.
It's really, really important for these businesses that have really been on a second bad year of outdoor recreation and tourism here in northern Wisconsin.
He's excited. I don't blame him. The Birkie begins next Wednesday with an open track day. The full race is Saturday, February 22nd. Well, if you've soured on a sweetie this Valentine's Day, or you're just playing it more practical, there's a book for you. Amazon Books editorial director has rounded up some unconventional picks, including what they call money for couples. It's advice that could actually bring you closer to your partner. Or there are laughs for even the most dismal of romantic circumstances in the graphic novel, What to Do When You Get Dumped.
It puts a visual on things like the Heartbreak Express. It says you get a one-way ticket on the pain train, destination unknown. It's a very funny book. I was laughing, I was crying. They call online dating the used partner store, which if you've online dated, you understand. If you have people going through a breakup, this is a great gift for them.
Oh, these are all great. Funny. A Valentine's Day book list wouldn't be complete without a romance novel. Amazon Books recommends Done and Dusted, a cowboy spin on the classic enemies to lovers tale. We have severe alert days in the forecast this weekend with conditions ranging from more snow to bitter cold, Alex, all over the place.
Yes, all over the place. Let me go through all of it here, but I think there's a viewer, though, that wants to know something.
Hi, I'm Keegan from Milwaukee. Hey, Alex, how's the weather?
Hey there, Keegan. Sounded like you're from Milwaukee, but maybe you were in Madison. Doesn't matter if you were in Madison or Milwaukee. I got the how's the weather for you. It's cold in both Madison and in Milwaukee. Tonight's temperature is getting down into the single digits. If you're going to be in town, Keegan, and join us at the 10 o'clock newscast, we'll be just barely above zero. And both Madison and Milwaukee will be dealing with alert day conditions. We have winter weather advisories for the entire state of Wisconsin as an impactful weather system moves in from the west and carries on potentially even beyond 6 a.m. on Saturday. Let me explain here. Accumulating snow, 3 to 6 inches. That's what we're going for right now. And I have 6 inches plus. I'm going to show you a graphic where I think that's going to set up here as we likely will extend the alert day condition snowfall into the daytime on Saturday. Timing for this here, Friday going into Saturday. This is really Friday evening going through much of the day on Saturday. What to expect: a heavy wet snow, not the dry stuff we saw yesterday. This is the wet stuff. 4 or more inches. There is a high likelihood from Lone Rock, Madison areas towards the north. Still a decent likelihood from Madison to Platteville, Monroe, and Janesville also getting at least 4 inches of snow out of this weather event. Let's put it into motion here. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, snow breaking out Camp Douglas to Lone Rock to Mineral Point to Platteville, and then it quickly becomes heavy. Look at the dark blues. By this time tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, we'll have live team coverage with this impactful event here. As we go into the 10 o'clock hour, heavy snow. Perhaps 1 inch per hour from Viroqua to Lone Rock to Madison down to Janesville. Wouldn't even be shocked to get a couple of claps of thunder. And here's the change in the forecast. Yesterday I was mentioning we have lack in confidence of additional snowfall building in on Saturday. Starting to see increasing confidence with our weather models coming in, bringing another band of snow. We call this the deformation zone. This is the backside of a weather system that could bring a few more inches of snow to southern Wisconsin during the daytime on Saturday. So we very well could see those weather headlines, those winter weather advisories extend into Saturday. That 6-inch amount lining up from Lone Rock up towards the Dells and then east towards Lake Michigan, where they could get a little bit of lake effect enhancement over by Milwaukee, Keegan, 3 to 6 inches in the Madison area. This weather system is a classic Colorado low. We've had a couple clipper systems bringing us just a little bit of light snow. And then this weather system is building from Colorado, and then it spills into the center part of the country and moves northeast and picks up moisture. So this one's going to have more moisture in it, and it's going to be that wet variety. Then we switch to the cold stuff. Minus 25 to 30 below wind chills. Sunday later in the day and Monday morning, wind chills to 30 below in Madison, 33 below in Viroqua, minus 28 in Janesville. We do it all over again Tuesday morning, upper 20s below zero, not above zero, to near 30 below Tuesday morning. Wouldn't be surprised to see some school cancellations and delays Monday morning and Tuesday morning for this very, very cold stretch ahead. Planning the evening yet, as I was just showing Keegan, Madison down to 2 by the time you join us for the 10 o'clock newscast. And then this cold weather is just going to stick around southern Wisconsin for the next, good portion of the next 10 days. We'll take one quick peek here at our 10-day forecast. Look at how cold conditions stick around here all the way clear to the end of next week. We'll be right back.
watching News 3 Now at 6.
We know you've been wondering all day, what does a top dog eat for lunch? The breakfast of champions, of course. Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show Best in Show winner Monty, that giant schnauzer, beautiful, got his fill at the annual Champions Lunch. An executive chef prepares a ribeye, cooked rare, of course, for the dog who beat out 6 other finalists for the Best in Show. Monty is the first of his breed to win the coveted Westminster title. Look, in slow-mo as well.
Beautiful dog. I know my dog Loki is watching right now and is infinitely jealous because of his kibble. He would much prefer that ribeye steak.
As would my Emma, I understand. So it's freezing cold and more snow coming.
Yep, 24 hours from now, our alert day conditions will begin for the snow that could last into Saturday. Could be looking at a band of snow reinforcing on Saturday. That's why we have 6 inches plus from Lone Rock stretching up to the Dells and east towards Lake Michigan. That band could shift north or south with this weather system as it pulls together on Friday going on into Saturday. And then here's the bitterly cold stuff. Sunday, Monday going into Tuesday, those wind chills could be as cold as minus 30 each of those mornings.
Not so fun to play in that snow.
No, not yet.
Thank you, Alex, and thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you back here for News 3 Now at 10.